What's up, guys? Welcome back to True Sound Studios. I'm Weezna. Today we're going to check out Gullfoss by Sound Theory. So when you hear that, the before and after of what this plugin does to this instrumental is absolutely fantastic. It has definitely changed my perspective on when my mixes for my productions or the songs that I'm mixing for other clients are truly done. So the ways that I use this plugin is I mix my song, exactly the way I want. I'm using references. I'm trying to make it sound as good as humanly possible right from the start. But then I put on Gullfoss on the mix bus as the very first plugin and let it do its thing. And how you control what it's doing is controlled by these 5 parameters up top. So we have recover, which is trying to unmask some of the frequencies that are in your mix. So kind of like trying to get things to cut through the mix. Then we have tame, which is in a way kind of doing the opposite, but it's more like taming certain resonances or certain frequency ranges that are too dominant in your mix. So not necessarily the opposite. But then we have bias, which is really kind of controlling both of these. Now, when you turn bias in one direction, it tames things more. And when you turn it in the opposite, it's doing more recovery. And then separately, we can actually control the brightness, which is really nice because truly what this plugin is doing is it took EQ curves of all these fantastic sounding songs and is trying to, match your track with this EQ curve of all these wonderful sounding tracks. And so this way, with that brightness function, it does allow you to at least tweak a little bit more of what it's doing. So the only controls here that are a little bit more hidden are these red bars that you can drag. And what this does is this allows you to have Gullfoss not affect the signal below this red line. So everything here from 140 hertz and below will not be affected by Gullfoss. You can see how it's not affecting that now. And then the same thing with the brightness, the top end of it. You can drag this over and this is going to, essentially have Gullfoss not affect those frequencies, just in case maybe you get your mix to sound really good low end, and in brightness wise, you can eliminate Gullfoss from doing the processing with these red bars. Okay, let's get right into another track. Let me show you guys the before and after. So here is yet another song that I produced. So hopefully you can hear what this plugin is doing. I mean, first of all, bringing out the top end of the song, those hi-hats were kind of a little bit more mixed into that track. And of course, this is all based on your preference. Obviously, you can tweak this stuff as much as you want and make it exactly what you want. But then what it's doing recovery-wise, bringing up some of those mids, controlling the low end. I mean, this is kind of like the best multi-band compressor dynamic EQ that you can get. It is doing a lot of that processing for you to be able to make your mix sound great. Now, let's be honest here. This is not going to replace necessarily a bad mix. You still need to be able to get your mix to a place where it's really good, but then let Gullfoss make some of those final decisions that just really take the track, just to that next level, that final refinement before, you send it out to a client. Okay, so you heard a couple of these like hip hop options, a couple of tracks I produced. Here is a rock track. So once again, another song I produced. And this is only the very first rough mix of this song. So as I'm producing it, I'm kind of like mixing it as I go. And so I took the first version of the rough mix and put Gullfoss on it, and you guys will hear what this thing's doing. I mean, this was a rough mix, but it brings out so much more. I mean, what I really like about this plugin is it's giving you a visual representation of what it's doing. And, you know, you could use that information then that you're seeing on the screen of what it's boosting and kind of taking away to go back and kind of like fix your own mix. It's this plugin that's helping out your mix, but also in the way it's kind of showing you some of your like problem areas. So it's just really fantastic. I thought these guitars and everything sounded good. When I was listening to this rough before I was making this video, I was like, oh, it sounds good. And then I put Gullfoss on there and it's like, oh, that is much better. I like that a lot better. So I just can't wait to be able to use this plugin more. I've only had it for about a month and a half now, and so far what it's doing to my mixes has been amazing, especially when you have clients like roughly half the clients that I work with are just, they're mixing songs on their own. They're sending them to me to master. And a lot of times I can't, we can't go back in and fix the mix because the project's too old or whatever it might be. So this is like giving me the option of taking that mix that isn't perfect and using Gullfoss to just make it sound better before I even have to get into EQ, compression, and all the rest of the things. So it's just, it's a pretty magical plugin. This is, I thought my mix bus chain was amazing the way it was, but now it's just even better. Okay, so the last example I'm going to show you is just a straight up drum track. Now, I'm a drummer. You can see my electric drum kit back there, my acoustic kit over there. And, I always like these big fat drum sounds, and sometimes, it doesn't fit perfectly with the song, but I just just trying it around, I put Gullfoss on just a drum bus and take a listen to what it can do. So once again, just, taking out some of those masking frequencies, helping to boost the brightness. And if you notice in all these examples, when it boosts the brightness, it's not just like an EQ, it's just boosting everything. Like it's very dynamic. And so the things that don't need to be accentuated just by boosting brightness are really making it sound much more pleasant, still bringing up things in the mix and quite honestly just changing the sound of this drum mix right away. So of course, saying like I like these big fat drums, sometimes that doesn't always work. Instead of going back and like making some big changes to your mix, you can just throw in an option like this and just transform that drum sound to being this big fat hearty thing to still fat and powerful, but having some more of those mids and highs in there that just kind of transform that drum tone. Now, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm also going to try Gullfoss on guitars and see what it will do with that. And so if that ends up working out, which I can't see why it wouldn't, I might have to make a little updated video with some of the other things that I've been using Gullfoss on. So first of all, if you guys like this video, click that like button, subscribe if you like videos like this. I also do studio builds, but also go check out Gullfoss for yourself. There is a free trial so you can try this out on some of your productions, and I think you're going to find it as amazing as I find it, being this amazing tool that just literally helps you get better sounding mixes. Also, there's plenty of other videos out there. I just wanted to show you guys how I've been using it and, kind of like the best case scenarios for me and truly the before and afters that make this plugin sound just so good. So guys, as always, thank you very much for watching this video. Go check out Gullfoss by Sound Theory. And until the next video, I'll see you guys then.